Week 2 of the Belgian Pro League, and could the 5 winners from opening week do it again? After their kick-off night Brussels derby success, Union Saint-Gilloise are at Standard Liège. Genk lead the table after hitting 4 past RWDM. They host Eupen. Champions Royal Antwerp visit Anderlecht, Gent are at Mechelen, and St-Truiden go to Kortrijk. A difficult trip for former 3-in-a-row champions Club Brugge at Westerlo, but we start at the Sclessin, and a big Friday night encounter as Standard Liège face Union.
It is as vibrant an atmosphere in Belgian football as you get. A raucous Friday night for the visit of Union Saint-Gilloise, who have been so magnificent the past couple of seasons and who have won here the past couple of seasons. Very good interception. Mechelen on the way! What a strike too! Pushed away by Bodar. The first opening, 17 minutes in. Puertas, beautiful ball! Oh boy, is he taking his opportunities now! Dennis Akken has scored! For the second straight game, right at the start of the season. He has been given his chance, and he is taking it big time. Header came in dangerously, first time by Rasmussen, and what a save with the rebound by Bodar. Standard are massively under pressure now. Here comes Puertas! Great strike, must be two, it's not, it's a miracle to deny Burgess. Bodar has pulled off 3 brilliant saves in a row. And Standard right now are clinging on. Well, how did none of these go in? Kasper Terho, the Finn who came from HJK Helsinki in January, he is fit again. Now, oh, Balak has already been booked. He's going to go. Before half-time, Standard Liège are down to 10. How could they have let that happen? He was booked after only 4 minutes, and he's had that hanging over him for the rest of the game. Decent delivery, might fall invitingly. First time towards Kawabe. And the 10 men have had an attempt on target. They lead 1-0 at half-time. Dennis Eckert scoring again in the first half. 20 minutes in, when a brilliant ball from Puertas. Sent forward by Lapuzan. Puertas clever. Eckert with a chance to pull back, and he did so. And Lapuzan's in! And it's stopped at the last gasp by Barrett Larsen. Nuko, leaning, clever. Maybe too much so. Another huge opening for Union Saint-Gilloise. Great ball in towards the centre, and Burgess almost makes it 2. And that would have finished it. In that sort of situation, he's proven himself so reliable. A firmer header, and that is 2-0. It's come out wide for Aidan O'Neill. He's pulling back well. Solid header by Mundell. Well, that would have been some way to introduce himself on his home debut to the Standard Liège public. It's launched in by Dodden. And the counter-attack by Union Saint-Gilloise. They've got 3 up against 1. Loïc Lapuzan is in. Brilliant tackle. Absolutely stunning. I think that was Bonse. Nielsen's recovered it. Midway through the 2 minutes, here's Puertas. Tight angle, good stop. Bodar to the rescue again. Union Saint-Gilloise keep on winning. They utterly dominated this game tonight. It was 24 chances for them in the end, against Standard Liège. And just like the same way Union outclassed Anderlecht last week, they've done the same to Standard Liège.
Eupen only stayed up by 1 place and 1 point last season, looking to make a bigger impact under new coach Florian Koolveld. And that impact coming 77 seconds in, away to last season's runners-up and last week's top scorers Genk. Regan Charles Cook heading in past Maarten van der Voort to give Eupen a shock lead. Set up by Gary Magnier's cross on the right, Grenada international Charles Cook doing the rest. His 6 goals last season had him as Eupen's second highest scorer. Genk losing Brian Heynen through injury during their midweek Champions League exit against Swiss side Servette, drawing 3-3 in aggregate, and he might be out for a month. Bilal El Khanous with the vision to shoot from long range, the World Cup semi-finalist with Morocco hitting the post. He claimed 2 Young Player of the Year awards for 2022, maintaining that magic touch. Racing Genk giving a debut to new Ghanaian signing from Salzburg, Christopher Bonsu-Ba. His tee-up for El Khanous, another close one from the 19-year-old. Wout of Rankin's men getting closer. Genk clearly stung by being behind. Mike Tresor's free kick causing Eupen multiple problems. McKenzie and then Sadiq coming close. Eupen with enough men back to keep it out. One of the better chances of the half coming right at the end of it. Tresor and Yerasor sending Gerardo Arteaga through one-on-one, but pulling it narrowly wide. Genk's 17th chance of the first half. Surely they'd find the net. Not the most enjoyable viewing for the home supporters. Eupen still 1-0 up. The Panthers only had 2 chances in the first half themselves, just the goal being on target. Expecting another onslaught coming in the second half, putting the foot right down after the restart. Magnier placing Isaac Nuhu for a thunderbolt. Van der Voort saving very well. Despite all their opportunities, not a single one actually on target for Genk up to this point. Yerasor's header changing that, but not enough to beat Noureddin in the open goal. This after 55 minutes. Genk were league top scorers last season with 88 goals, so they have the creators and finishers for sure. Painsel's cross turned narrowly wide by Tolu Arakadare. Would it be one of those days? The concern growing for Genk chairman Peter Cronin. Into the 5th minute of stoppage time, Racing still creating. Argentine midfielder Matthias Galasa being sprung from the bench himself, weaving through the open backlines, but not past Noureddin. Genk's 28th chance of the game. Would they have time for another? There's your answer. A massive upset. Eupen's first ever win at Genk, having only ever drawn once there before, and they're still unbeaten this season. Genk 0, Eupen 1. Cercle edged out by an own goal against champions Antwerp last week on the offensive from the off, and the aftermath of Iyasa Ueda's move to Feyenoord for a club record €10 million. Kevin Denke heading over from Van den Bruggen's cross. Miron Muslic's men drawing a blank in their opener, but looking sharp early on here. CK's throw opening up the chance for him to then cross. Jesper Dahlen finding a way around the Charleroi defence, teeing up Thibaut Summers to fire Cercle ahead. 15 minutes in at the Jan Breidel. Dahlen had put into his own net against Antwerp when cutting out a cross last week and had been very well supported by his coach post-match. This is way of paying that back, and for Summers too, after scoring 7 last season. Cercle already causing Charleroi problems with throw-ins from the right, now throw-ins from the left. With this attack not sufficiently cleared, Abu Francis popping up with a dynamic effort. A close call from 25 yards out. 2 minutes before half-time, Cercle 1-0 up and continuing to press dangerously. CK picking out Denke, whose attempted cross would come off the arm of Adams Organ. No penalty call here from referee Lothar Dont, but with VAR suggesting another look, that decision changing. Penalty to Cercle. Ueda was Cercle's chief penalty taker last season, but with him moving to Rotterdam, it looks like being Denke's duty now. And if he can keep doing that, the job is his permanently. Well struck past Hervé Coffey. Denke scored 13 last season. A first half that had largely passed the Zebras by. Charleroi first attempt on target coming 2 minutes into the second. Isaac Mbenza's strike punched away by Wallison, and Mbenza with all his own work. Cercle are known nowadays for their pressing, and it's yielding benefits after their best scoring season in 15 years. Denke popping up again on the edge of the area, his effort straight at Coffey. A good try, He was second highest scorer behind Ueda last season. Charleroi are finally finding some openings themselves, having been undone from the spot for a second successive week. Dan Heyman's blasting over the top here. Another moment to rain on Felicia Matsu's parade. Heyman's was Charleroi's top scorer last season with just 6 league goals. Getting the Zebras into a regular scoring frame of mind will be one of Matsu's ambitions this season. Marco Ilamaharitra's adventurous ball over the top, picking out Zogan, just unable to get a proper connection. The second half display a lot more like it from Charleroi, and Benza creating space again for a decent speculative effort, tipped over well by Wallason. He's taken over the main goalkeeping role again following Bratislav Majewski's return to Monaco. A very good save. Charleroi unable to make good from a stronger second half. Cercle making up for last week. Cercle Brugge 2, Charleroi 0. After losing 4-0 at home to Genk in their opener, much for RWDM in red here to prove at Leuven, themselves scraping a comeback draw at Charleroi for week 1. Inside a minute, Mikael Biron cracking just over the top. Leuven earning a point at Charleroi last week following that controversially awarded late penalty. Trying to come up with something equally unexpected, Jon Dagger Torsteinsson, a clever attempt from OHL's Icelandic international. RWDM keeper Theo Deforney not deceived. Despite last week's scoreline, Molenbeek had some great moments against Genk. Zakaria Elouadi's slalom interrupted. Xavier Mercier's lob across for Alexis Desart finishing, but cracking over. Desart knows the stadium so well, playing on Leuven on loan from Antwerp 2 seasons ago. Leuven's 10th place finish last season was the joint best ever, just missing out on the European playoffs. Nathan Opoku scored 3 goals and his cutting through ball for Uchi Sagrado, the perfect tee-up. Leuven in front after 18 minutes. Sagrado's first goal in professional football after making his debut in March. Opoku himself only played 7 times last season. That looks like changing. Sagrado reaping the benefits. Mark Bryce's side with a solid foundation, but a bit of defensive frailty coming up. Aywood Pleiting's losing possession, Nico Daly placing Mercier to majorly test Valentin Kojikaru. A quality save from the Romanian, that was sneaking in. RWDM will be working hard to make sure last week's opener won't set the standard for this season. Instead, Mercier's pass for Biron, the kind of benchmark they'll be looking to set. Not a bad finish either. His first ever top-flight goal after 16 in the Challenger Pro League last season. They don't come much better than that. Both the pass and the finish, absolute top quality. Biron previously scoring 40 goals in French and Belgian second division football. Welcome to the big time. 1-1 at the interval. Storm Anthony beginning to make a proper impact. And resuming the story 10 seconds into the second half, Florian Lejoncourt's ball over the top, sending Desart away, immediately appealing for a handball, and it did come off Frederico Rica's arm. Referee Arthur Danil awarding the penalty. Q Biron again. And scoring again. The Martinique striker hit the post against Genk last week. This is second brace since joining from Nancy a year ago. This putting RWDM 2-1 up. Leuven looking for an instant response, and Rica's header from Scriver's corner almost providing it. Deforney with another good reaction save. Claudio Casapa's side hanging on. Raphael Holzhauser back at Leuven after a loan spell away at Munich. His late free kick off the wall. Scriver's rebound almost ending up in the net. He once scored goal of the season similar to this. But Casapa gets his first win in charge of the newcomers. It might be a fruitful season for them after all. Leuven 1 or WDM 2.
Antwerp have got through a couple of tight encounters already this season, needing penalties to see off Mechelen and an own goal to edge out Cercle Brugge 1-0 last week. But just like against Racing Genk in June, they're getting the right results. That's something Anderlecht are desperately trying to find. Their lowest league finish in 86 years. Get out wide to NTI, continued the run forward and went down, and a penalty! Right on half-time to Anderlecht. It was a tremendous run down the left-hand side by NDI. The final pass by Diawara, he had kept going. Toby Alderweireld coming in on him. Went for the ball, didn't get it. How much contact with Ndiaye? Is it coming together of knees? Might need to be a bit better than that. Kasper Dolberg on his home debut. Scores! Anderlecht in front against the champions. Dolberg hit that so well. A blistering start to the season finally for Anderlecht, who'd only created one big chance from play. Girano Kirk and Jürgen Eklenkamp being readied, and suddenly there's a big break for Dreyer! Oh, what a shot off the post! It's rebounded to Amuzu. Brilliant effort from outside the area. Amuzu's try didn't get far. Delat didn't reach it. Quick rebound, Eklenkamp! And Janssen couldn't turn it in. Cleared off the line. Miraculously by Kylian Sardella. Best chance Antwerp have had all game, and it comes after the hour mark. Eklenkamp in. What a stop. What a brilliant stop. Gone the long way to Yellow Bataille again. Vines. He's got it out wide well. Now there's room. Belting strike. Really well hit by Toby Alderweireld off the back of his greatest scoring season ever. Dangerously across the area. Dabas got the flick away. Right place, right time. 88th minute. Antwerp still pressing. Still looking dangerous. They always do. Youssef. Now he's got room to get the cross in. Belting one. Alderweireld was up there and Eklenkamp equalises. Well, that's one that's going to go down to the line, definitely, because Foot was trailing back a bit by Jan Vertonghen. He might have been played onside there. And actually, that header comes off Louis Patrice. Oh, it's offside! It's been called as offside. It's a defeat so much earlier this season compared to last for Mark van Bommel and Antwerp. A very immensely tight first half. Really just that header from Ndiaye and the penalty given for Alderweireld's challenge on Ndiaye, which Dolberg converted.
Mechelen forcing Antwerp to penalties in the Super Cup, holding Club Brugge to a 1-1 draw. Gent in their 3 games to date have scored 13 goals, 10 in Europe against Schelina. Julien Deissart coming close to giving the Buffaloes the lead. We've already seen his brother Alexis help claim a big win for RWDM. Gaëtan Cook with an excellent save for Mechelen. Watanabe, the cushioned header to create it. Gent keeping the pressure up through Hong's free kick. Nuria Fortuna at the far post, trying to turn it home, but without success. The big headline from the Buffaloes lineup: no start for a second game running for Gift Orban. They scored 5 in Slovakia without him. Hulsiger and Coombs involved in this build-up. Deissart cracking over. Gent's next European assignment is against Pogoń Szczecin, 3rd in Poland twice in the last 3 seasons. Greater accuracy may be needed against them. Frankly, greater accuracy needed here. Watanabe playing it long for Hong to take out the entire Mechelen defence with his header. Hugo Kuipers hooking over. Kuipers scoring for 8 straight games before this, 5 goals in his first 3 games in all competitions already. Yet to add to his tally here, though. Nothing much for Mechelen to phone home about from the first half. 10 minutes into the second, Gent having Mechelen on the back foot again. Matisse Samours cutting out the attempted clearance. Deissart's drive rebounding straight to Hong. Malik Fofana being brought into the equation. And then eventually Sven Coombs. Finally, Kuipers' pullback aimed for Hulsiger, going in off Dimitri Lavallee for an own goal. Hulsiger immediately admitting the goal wasn't his. And finally, relief for the travelling Buffaloes contingent. A scrappy goal in many ways. Mechelen unable to clear. Dan Foulon's cutout cruelly going in off Lavallee. Gent to the first team this century to benefit from own goals in their first 2 league games of a season. Mechelen have one of the most raucous home supports around and immediately trying to get them enthused again. Sweden international Kerem Rabti's header picking up Lauterbach in the middle, but the new signing from Eintracht Braunschweig not getting enough behind it. Malinwa creating well, but some raucous play up front, meaning it would have been ruled out anyway. In terms of his scoring, Kuipers has resumed in the same fashion he continued all of last season. Most of his goals to date have been in Europe, but he did net in that 5-goal thriller against Kortrijk last week. Just needing a closer finish this time. Fofana with the setup, Kuipers looking for a little extra curl. So what have they been missing? You might well say there's been a gift Orban-shaped hole up front for the Buffaloes in this one. Coach Ein van Ijzenbroek not answering any post-match questions about the Nigerians' back-to-back absences. And there's been no word of backroom bust-ups or of transfer negotiations. And with Orban staying firmly on the bench, Mechelen still in it with 2 minutes to go. Sandy Walsh's outstretched foot not making proper contact. A full-back usually a lot more threatening in this situation. He's only recently declared for Indonesia after being a Dutch underage international. But Walsh is still a decent creator in his own right, setting up Israel international Jonas Maledi wide on the right-hand side. Was he thinking of a cross? In the end, a very decent tight-angled effort, almost squeezing it in. A subsequent follow-up from Rob Schoofs, yielding penalty calls from the crowd, but not from those on the pitch. Maledi spent 18 months at Gent before coming to Mechelen, a good reminder to his former colleagues. Nothing to report from the rebound. Into the 3rd minute of stoppage time, and Gent still not quite over the line yet. Mechelen maintaining their late pressure, and that being far too much for Nuria Fortuna. An awkward tackle bundling into Maledi for a penalty. No hesitation from referee Nicolas Laforge. Frankly, probably the most obvious penalty award of the weekend. Schoofs with it. Saved by Davy Ruff, bringing back memories of his penalty-saving exploits in the cup final shootout against Anderlecht 2 seasons ago. The Buffaloes hang on, and they've Ruff to thank. 2 wins out of 2 for them. Mechelen 0, Gent 1.
The Week 2 action continues in the Belgian Pro League to a venue that was so difficult for the big teams to deal with last season when the newcomers kept tripping the big boys up. From Het Kuipje, it's Westerlo against Club Brugge. It's controlled well by Igor Thiago. Scoff Olsen, nice cross from the left-hand side, and now Thiago! What a flick! The man who scored in his debut from the spot last week in the draw against Mechelen. Van Aken in space! Great try, good save by Bolat. Kept it away from Hugo Vidlesen. Oh, that's a brilliant header. Right on the edge of the area. And it was the captain. Probably the game that summed them up most from last season. Certainly in terms of what they've been scoring and conceding was the 8-goal thriller against Cercle. They lost 5-3, and they're almost behind here. Bolat pushing it away. Van Aken's brilliant header. Noosa claiming the rebound. Taking on Reynolds again is Noosa. Here comes Buchanan. It was almost like an absolute cue, like a coconut shy. This one played out wide again, and it's touched just wide. Vidlesen scored on his debut at home against Aarhus. Here's Thiago! And now he's made a count. Goals in his first 2 games in the Belgian league for Igor Thiago. Westerlo was suddenly unlocked, and just seconds after the previous chance for Club Brugge, Igor Thiago made them pay. Thiago. Picked out Van Aken well. There's Andreas Skov-Olsen. Thiago. They're moving it well again. And Skov-Olsen's in, and he's in the bar. After a brilliant move. What a setup. Onyedika will have a go. Van Aken for Onyedika. Nusa. Facing Reynolds. Pulled it across well, and Thiago somehow denied. Miracle save by Bolat, and it's still 1-0. Vassen, oh what a try, and a fine save by Mignolet. Excellent effort. Mabude making a bit of space on the right, good save, Mignolet again. What a brilliant try from the Scotland under-21 international. Nusa's turned Neustadt very well, and he's on the way through. It's Nusa off the crossbar again, and Yaremchuk turns it in, but offside has been called, I think, against Yaremchuk. And that's a situation where you would have fully expected Club Brugge to score from there. Club Brugge get the win. Just by a goal to nil. 20 goal-scoring chances in the game. Igor Thiago, just like last week, with their only goal.
Sint-Truiden, one of the 5 clubs to win their opening day game, 1-0 over Standard Liège. Kortrijk edged out by Gent by the odd goal in 5. STVV youth graduate Jonas Sturkers picked up a lot while on loan at Maastricht last season, the 21-year-old taking them all on here. An excellent strike to test Tam van der Berge's reflexes early on. Sturkers scored 9 during his time in the Dutch second flight. Kortrijk escaping the bad weather affecting the rest of the country. Aboubakary Koitje scored last week's spectacular winner against Standard Liège. Testing De Carroll's defence here. Fatikaya's follow-up not getting far. Conceding 3 to Gent last week. Kortrijk under pressure again here. 14 players and 1 coach departing Sint-Truiden during the summer to date, but 9 new players coming in already, and the number 27 here, Frederik Anunu, is one of them, signed from Hansa Rostock. The Turcoese setting up Ryan van Helden, himself a Maastricht loanee last season. Koita picked out Van den Berge with an excellent point-blank save. The new names and combining well for the Canaries. All changed for Kortrijk too. 17 of last season's squad have gone. Dylan Mboya, one of the old hands now. Released on the right side of the penalty area, the former Belgian underage international brought down by Matta Smets. Penalty awarded by Brent Starsens. No doubting it is a foul, but a big saving grace for Sint-Truiden. It was close, but it was outside. So, a free kick instead. Quite the escape for Torsten Fink's side. After all that, though, captain Abdelkahar Kadri's free kick not producing all that much. No goals for the first half, thankfully no rain either. 10 minutes after the restart, Ryotaro Ito playing forward for Matthias Delorge, directing towards Sturkers to score his first goal in Belgian football after all those in the Dutch game last season. A goal to delight all Canaries travelling cross-country for this one. Ito and Delorge with the legwork for Sturkers. A Sint-Truiden boy through and through, scoring on only his 3rd start for his hometown club. A goal he's never likely to forget. 1-0 to Sint-Truiden and trying to get the result over the line early. Koita's strike from outside the box was a real beauty last week against Standard Liège, so why not try to do it again? That one off the crossbar. After going 16 months without a goal, almost 2-2 for the former Kortrijk loanee. It was 5 games before Sint-Truiden won last season. Now 2 from their first 2 for the first time since 2015. Kortrijk 0, Sint-Truiden 1. curiously low-scoring round, binary almost, the second lowest-scoring match day since 1960, the previous one producing just 8 goals in February 2008. The 6 away wins, by the way, the joint highest for a single match day this century. So, 1-0 for Union, Eupen, Anderlecht, Gent, Club and Sint-Truiden, Cercle winning at home, or RWDM on the road and from behind. Only 3 sides have now played 2 and won 2. Union Saint-Gilloise and Ghent are starting their title challenges early. Welcome to see Sint-Truiden up there, also under new management. Eupen led the league for a short spell 2 seasons ago. They and Club Brugge still unbeaten on 4 points. The bottom 6 still seeking their first victory. Kortrijk and Standard Liège still awaiting their first point. So Antwerp begin again at home on Friday night against Kortrijk. There's a double date in Brussels on Saturday as RWDM entertain Mechelen and Union Saint-Gilloise face Leuven. 5 games on Sunday because of European commitments. Anderlecht are at Sint-Truiden. It's Eupen Club Brugge. Cercle Brugge entertain Genk. Charleroi meet Standard Liège. And Westerlo wrap up in the late game against Ghent. Until next time, from Will Downing and the crew, enjoy your football.